Good morning, students. Welcome back to e-learning. So, we were doing the unit 4 of your English course book, Wonder Years. Wonder Years, I told you, they are about teenage. It's called teenage. So, teenage is the age where children are very confused because so many changes come in their body. They have lots of questions in them which they don't get answers generally. Things are beyond their comprehension. They don't understand what is happening to them. There are certain kind of changes coming up in their bodies, like they are building up their ideas, their morals, their values. They are incorporating new morals and values. Their ethics are building up. So they are beautiful years of anyone's life. They are these wonder years are the best duration of any child's life. But we need to tackle these wonder years with care, because certain things happen during this age and they just crumple our whole life. They just change our whole life, and they leave permanent scars sometimes in our lives. So the poem Feeling by the American poet C.J. Heck is a very wonderful, very beautiful poem. In the previous video, we have already discussed the explanation, the paraphrases of the poem. Today we will discuss the poem. We'll see the critical analysis of the poem. So let's first of all we will do about the poem. So, Feelings, a poem by American poetess C.J. Heck, is a didactic poem. Didactic, I told you, the poem which gives out a moral lesson meant to educate young children. In this beautiful poem, the poetess talks about the issue of bullying that is rampantly spreading in the world of teenagers and has far-reaching consequences. The poet provides assistance to growing children by helping them understand the nature of a bully and how to face the threats posed by them. With the help of a conversation between a suffering child and his mother, the poet talks about this burning issue and how to tackle it. Now look at the summary of the poem. The poem Feelings is a very beautiful poem. It is a conversation between a child who has been bullied at school and his mother. Bullying is a burning issue nowadays. As teenagers are going through changes, it is a confusing time for children as their psychology is changing, their body is changing, lots of questions come to their mind for which they do not get satisfactory answers. So, at this confusing age, some children take to bully others who are not strong than them. They do not have the voice of their own and are weak. The poet assists these weaker children how to tackle these bullies. These bullies are no one but somebody who has been unhappy inside. She tells the young victims not to worry or reply them in the language of anger or unkindness. She tells, in order to overcome the threats, one has to approach the bully with kindness and niceness and stand up for themselves without fighting or replying to them in a language of violence. The dialogues between the child and the mother are very emotional and sensitive. The child is suffering. He has been bullied by his seniors and his friends. the children who are bigger than him in school, and they don't seem to understand what the child is going through. His feelings are completely overlooked. The poet tells that how it feels to be hurt, to have your feelings crumpled. You must not crumple the feelings of others. In fact, you must reach out to your bully and talk to them and sort out the issues kindly. Now let's have a look at the critical appreciation of the poem. The poem Feelings is written by an American poet, C.J. Heck. It talks about the sensitive issue of bullying. The poem has 4 stanzas of 4 lines each. The rhyme scheme of the poem is A, B, C, B. That means the second and the fourth line, they rhyme with each other, like Mom, why would kids say stuff to hurt me? This is line A. Most especially when they are not true. This is line B. Don't they even care about feelings? This is line C. Don't they think first before they hurt you? This is fourth line. So, true, you, these are rhyming with each other. एक जैसी sound जो होती है उसको हम बोलते हैं rhyming words. So, A first line और third line के ending words rhyme नहीं करते हैं. Me, feelings, they are not rhyming. They are not matching with each other. So, but second or fourth line के ending words, they are always rhyming with each other in all the paragraphs. So the rhyming scheme is A, B, C, B. The poem is in conversational style. It is a conversation between a mother and her child who has been the victim of bullying. The title of the poem suggests sensitivity and emotions. It shows how the act or the trauma of bullying crumples the feelings of the victim. It also tells us the person who is bullying others is actually a very hurt person. A person who is angry inside, within, and the person whom the world has been unkind to. So, certain poetic devices are used in the poem to make the poem aesthetically pleasing. So, in this poem also, we come across many poetic devices, and the remarkable ones are hyperbole. Hyperbole is an expression used to exaggerate or to put some dramatic effect. Like in this poem, the expression in third stanza, you will see the mom is saying to her child that if you let it, in the fourth stanza, the mom is telling the child, but do it nice and don't get all mad. Don't get all mad is a hyperbole. Because madness is related to insanity. When somebody loses the calmness, the patience, loses the mind, right? But so here madness refers to do not get too much angry. So instead of saying don't get too much angry, she uses the expression don't get all mad. So here it is a little exaggeration of the things is done कि जब हम बढ़ा चढ़ा के कोई बात बोलते हैं, that is called hyperbole. यहाँ पे वो बढ़ा चढ़ा के बात कह रही है so that the child can understand what she is trying to tell him. कि वो क्या बात बोलना चाह रही है वो समझ जाए बच्चा. वो कहना चाह रही है कि भाई बहुत ज़्यादा गुस्से में नहीं आना है. So instead of saying बहुत ज़्यादा गुस्सा नहीं करना है, she says don't get all mad. So that is the example of hyperbole. Next is alliteration. Alliteration is occurrence of same letter or sound adjacent or close to each other. So there are various examples of alliteration. We have already done alliteration in previous poems also. Here also many examples are there. But I'll tell you one, like deep down. So in the stanza 2, look at the line 2. They are very angry deep down inside. So the sound duh is repeated twice, right? So that's why it is the example of alliteration. Next is personification. Children, add P in this. Personification. Giving attributes to living things, of living things to non-living things. Like in stanza 3, third line, happiness grows faster than anger. So happiness is non-living thing, anger is non-living thing, but here the poet is talking about happiness as if it is a living thing, because only living things can grow. Human beings can grow, plants can grow, birds, animals, they can grow. But happiness कैसे grow होती है? बढ़ती है happiness? Happiness is a feeling which we feel inside us. So, but here in the poem, just to enhance the aesthetic quality of the poem, the poet has used personification. He has given human attribute, human quality to a non-living thing, non-living quality. So this happiness is a non-living thing which we can only feel. We cannot touch it, we cannot see it, we can only feel it. So it is non-living. But here he is talking as if it is, happiness is growing, as if it is a living thing. So it is a clear example of personification. So let's do the back exercise questions. First one is, answer these questions with reference to context. They do not know how to fix that. Who does they refer to? They refers to bullies who said stuff to hurt the narrator. What is it that needs fixing? That refers to the feelings of anger and unhappiness that bullies have. Why do they not know how to fix it? They do not know how to fix it because they are very angry deep down inside and cannot find a solution to this problem. What do they do when they can't fix it? When they cannot fix it, then they transfer their anger to someone they think is weaker than them. Answer these questions. What kind of things do the children in the poem say? The children in the poem say things that hurt the feelings of the narrator. Why do the things said by the children hurt the speaker? The things the kids said hurt the speaker because they are not true. What does the mother tell the child about happiness in stanza 3? The mother tells the child that happiness grows much faster than the anger. She also advises the child to stay happy because it is better that way. What are some of the consequences of letting anger stay with you? The consequences of letting anger stay with us can be drastic. Anger is a waste of our lives and can become uncontrollable resulting in more unhappiness and hatred. What advice does the mother give in the last stanza? The mother advises the child to stand up for his feelings and be assertive, but do so in a calm and a friendly manner. Match the stanzas to the key points they present. Now, stanza 1 represents questioning the behavior of bullies. Stanza 2 explain why there is bullying. Stanza 3 explain it advises to be happy and shun anger. And stanza 4 advises on how to deal with bullies. Now discuss and answer. Do you think the child is talking about a real situation or any imaginary one? Give reasons for your answer. I think the child is talking about a real situation that may have happened with him in school or while playing in the park. On coming back, he tells everything to his mom, and his mom advises him prudently. If you were in child's place, would you follow the mother's advice? Justify. If I was in child's place, I would follow the mother's advice because she knows me better than anyone else, and she would always guide me the right path out of her experience. Do you think the mother understands the child's problem? Justify your answer. According to me, the mother understands the child's problem because she has also gone through this stage, so therefore is able to guide the child prudently. So that's all, students, in this chapter. I hope you have understood the poem. It's a wonderful poem. If you have any difficulty, call me or message me. Thank you. Have a nice day.